on this episode of We Bought a Vineyard.
And so without that piece of paper, which I now have there, bankrupt, game over. And there's been a few sleepless nights. Bottling the Shiraz, and in a couple of months they'll be on the shelves for sale, and that's what it's all about.
Once in a while, a barrel leaks, and you're literally just watching, you come in the next morning and it's literally money down the drain.
It's Bud Burst weekend at the moment, and it's the region's biggest weekend. Thousands of people coming up to explore all the different wineries and the vineyards and all the wine on offer. Because Zigzag Road is about half an hour away from the main bus loop for Bud Burst, I'm at a pop-up cellar door in Lancefield, closer to the action. But so far, this has been a bit hit and miss. So I'm in the calm between the storm at the moment. We've had a few bus loads in. It's peaks and troughs, so it's a little bit quiet here at the moment. In the future, I'll look at other vineyards and locations, but as our first year, this is a great way to experience Bud Burst, experience the atmosphere. Meanwhile, Harriet will focus on the annual Malmesbury Fair, just 5 minutes from Zigzag Road.
Obviously, Bud Burst is our biggest weekend of the year. It's an amazing opportunity to showcase, the cellar doors of the region. But we also are not going to miss the opportunity to do the community thing, which is the Malmesbury Fair. So for us, that sense of community is a massive reason for kind of what we're doing. And so to turn down a community opportunity to just do Bud Burst would be a shame. So we've decided to do both. And bit of a challenge with this guy to split the ranks, but it's been brilliant. And it's just a great way of saying, hey, we're just down the road. This is Zigzag Wines. Loads of people know us. They've known the winery for 40 years. And new people come up from Melbourne just to come to the Malmesbury Fair. So for us, it's just more opportunity to tell the story, get the brand out there, kind of meet us.
Bud Burst weekend is really important to Zigzag Winery at the moment. It's important anyway on the calendar because it's a great income earner for the wineries, and people come and taste all the different wines and buy the wine. But that's really important to us at the moment because we have had a bit of an issue with our liquor license over the last couple of months, which has meant that we've only been able to trade on Saturdays. So we've been in a situation where we're limping through.
We've been turning away car after car. One guy was like, I just want to buy a case of your sparkling, which is, our showcase wine and most expensive, but we just have to say no, no, no. And frankly, it's had a big impact on our cash flow. It's been hugely stressful.
For the first time as a new business owner, I fully understand what cash flow is. So the pile of invoices are piling up, and the cash hasn't been coming in. So it's been very, very tense.
There's nothing like not getting a paycheck every month when you run your own business. And the true meaning of cash flow, I've always talked about it. Coming from an entrepreneurial family background, I've understood it. There's nothing like just not having the money in your account to really understand what that means. So for that, that startup capital that we put into the business, we've had to put projects on hold, turn down festivals, turn down events. It's been great to focus on the vineyard, but the actual sales have ground to a halt, obviously, apart from on those days.
Luckily, last week we got our full liquor license, and we've gladly put the open sign out on Zigzag Road. And someone popped in on Thursday, bought a case of wine. It's $240 straight into our bank account. We can start paying our invoices. So this weekend, Budburst weekend, is an absolute godsend because, hopefully we'll earn some great money and get Zigzag out into the community, and it will do us very well.
So for us to do Budburst weekend just in time to get the license is just awesome. Yeah, game on.
Granite Hill's winemaker Lou Knight is a local legend in the Macedon Ranges. His dad Gordon was one of the pioneers of the region back in the early 1970s. Now Lou continues to make award-winning reds and whites. Like Harriet and I, Lou loves the fact that the region is not home to any corporate wineries. One of the unique aspects of winemaking in the Macedon Ranges.
This area doesn't have vast, broad acre areas to plant vines, so from a commercial winery point of view, that's not as attractive. And this area is about small pockets of, premium little vineyards in specific sites. And from a large winery point of view, that's not so attractive. I mean, from a family winery point of view and small specialist winemaker, it's great. We love that because each site has its own profile and its peculiar characteristics. So I think that's the strength of the region. But from a commercial winery's point of view, they just want to make, even quality, consistent sort of wine. So I find that pretty boring. But anyway.
So this Riesling's just won a number of awards at the Dales Wine Show. Yeah, it won Best White Wine in the Show and Best White Wine of the Chardonnay and the People's Choice, which was so not just the judge's choice.
At the beginning of November, there was a Dalesford Wine Show, which takes in entries from Heathcote, Bendigo, Macedon Ranges, Ballarat. They had 150 odd entries in, so Harriet and I submitted all of our wines. We just wanted to get as much feedback as possible, not really thinking much of it. But our Riesling didn't only win the best Riesling, it won the best white wine in the whole show. Lou Knight made our Riesling, and he's one of the gurus in Australia of Riesling maker and probably the best in the Macedon Ranges. So we were absolutely delighted. We didn't make the wine, we didn't own Zigzag at the time. We're going to claim it. With years of experience and award-winning success, Lou gives us some tips on wine tasting for the first time.
Okay, well, the basic elements of wine you should be looking for when you're tasting wine is first the colour, and you can assess a lot about the wine, the age, and so forth. Its depth of colour, whether it's white or red. And then, of course, we have the nose. So from this, you can talk about the fruit characteristics, the varietal characteristics, whether it has oak, and so forth. And the palate, you're looking for, again, fruit there, the balance of the wine, the acid structure, the tannin structure, which is a feeling, not a taste. If there's any sugar in the wine, if it's dry or sweet. And then after you swallow the wine, you're looking at the flavour profiles of the wine. So that's an important part, and you really need to swallow wine to get the best flavour elements in a wine, because the sensory system is the olfactory system in the back of your nose. So you need to swallow the wine to be able to detect that. And the flavour is directly related to aroma, to the smell. So that's why we nose the wine first, because it's directly related to flavour.
When we first took over the business, Henry was like, let's get a dog. And I was just like, Henry, we're going to have a baby, take over 6,000 vines. Let's not take over a dog as well, or let's not get a dog. But And Nellie was here when we moved in, and we kept saying to the owner, you know, we're feeding her, but we know she's your dog. And after a few months, Eric just said, you know what? That's the old owner. He just said, you keep her. She's not coming home. Because she's a winery dog through and through. She was born here. She's been here 15 years, acts like she's 3. Herds the customers in and out of the property. Doesn't do a damn thing with the sheep, but she's a cracker, so she's our doorbell. So every time a customer comes in, we hear the bark well before, I mean, even before they come into the drive, she started to bark. So she's invaluable, and she's just, yeah, we just love her. And she keeps me company in the vine, she keeps me company in the house, so she's a pretty good extra asset.
Following the labelling issue last week where the labels didn't fit the premium Burgundy bottles, we're now ready to get more than 1,600 litres of our 2018 Shiraz ready for sale.
I think that's look quite straight, does it? Like, as in, if you look at it, the actual label doesn't look straight, if that's a straight line.
Too much space up here.
Yeah, I know.
We are bottling our 2018 Shiraz, and Maddie went off this morning to go and return the wrong bottles and get the correct bottles. And for the first time, we're trying to create a bottling line and playing with the ergonomics and the flow, but bottling here, Maddie's doing the capping, going over to Harriet to do the labelling, and then Jeff is doing the packing onto a pallet. Today we're getting through about 1,700 litres. 1,700 litres will be about 2,200 bottles. The biggest part of this task is setting up and getting everything clean and sterilised. And then there's the clean up at the end, which is another sort of 4-hour task. There's just no possible way we would do this without friends. So we got Maddie and Jeff here helping out today, and then we got Jeremy and Harry coming up at the weekend. And it's the only way this can function and work. So we're absolutely reliant on the kindness of people giving us their time and their support. And it's not glamorous work. 14 cases so far, 64 to a pallet. We've got about 3 pallets to do today, so we made a little bit of progress, but progress nonetheless. And we're just going to keep on going today. Put a bit of music on later and break for lunch in a sec and try and keep morale up. But yeah, bottling the Shiraz, and in a couple of months they'll be on the shelves for sale, and that's what it's all about.
So every 2 weeks, especially during summer, because we mostly use oak barrels, so we use American oak, Hungarian oak, and various other oaks. And so because we use oak barrels for our red wines, we need to top up the wine in the barrel every 2 weeks. Oak barrels are porous, and so in the summer months, effectively the wine is evaporated over time. When you get evaporation, it's a bit like opening a bottle of wine. When you open a bottle of wine at the beginning of the week and have a glass, you know, 2 or 3 days later, it doesn't taste as good as when you open it. And the reason is that's oxidization that basically impacts on the quality of the wine. And you can taste it. So we obviously want top quality wine, so we need to make sure that the barrels are always right up to the top so that evaporation process is slowed down.
Yeah, so it's beautiful, coming along nicely. From my uninitiated knowledge. So you can see it takes quite a bit of liquid. So I only did this maybe 10 days ago. It's another big job. People always think that you're only in the winery kind of in the vintage, in the summer months when you're making the wine, but this is a huge job that happens all year. That's all great, except for a pretty major setback for us was that one of the barrels was leaking recently. It happens occasionally, you just get them back. Coopers do a brilliant job, but once in a while, a barrel leaks and you're literally just watching, you know, you come in the next morning and it's leaking, and that's just literally money down the drain. And so for us, we didn't catch it soon enough. When we went to fill it up again, basically started to oxidize too much. There was acetic acid in there, and you got this real kind of volatile acidity coming through. And so we just like, right, we need to act quickly. So we took the barrel out, we emptied it into the tank, and then just like 5 minutes ago, we've just tasted this because we thought, okay, this is 200 litres worth, that's one barrel we've taken out. We'll be able to use this for topping up, but it's not good enough. So we're just literally gonna have to chuck 200 litres down the drain. It's 200 litres that perhaps if we were less focused on quality, we could just put into the wine. Would people really notice? Probably not. But for us, that's just a no-go. We just can't, that's just unacceptable from a quality perspective. So 200 litres, that's you know, quite a lot of bottles of wine. Too bad at maths to work out how much money, but we'll work it out later, and that's just down the drain at the moment. So we'll, and it's beautiful. The 18 Cabernet was tasting fantastic. So we've still got other 18 Cabernet. They're in great barrels, so that's good. And now there's a very beautiful barrel on the veranda for the cellar door, and it looks, you know, aesthetically attractive. But every time I walk past it, I think it's just red with the stain of our money that we've had to wash down the drain. With Scott moving out a few weeks ago, Jeremy and Laura, or Harry as we call her, have moved in to learn about life on the land.
For me, I think one of the key aims I want to get out of it is learning agriculture, like working the land and a lot of sort of horticultural, agricultural skills. But I also appreciate that encompasses a lot of auxiliary skills as well, which might be leading into a bit into winemaking, leading into kind of learning some of just the basic tools around the farm. Chainsaw.
Yeah.
Tractor. Forklifts, things like that.
At the moment, I'm not sure whether we'll make the commitment to turn into winemakers and viticulturists.
Don't do it. So this morning we ran an induction with Jeremy and Harry, and Jeremy and Harry are living in the caboose, so there's a little train carriage we've converted. They are here because they're interested in soil, in farming, in being on the land, in learning practical skills, in permaculture, soil biodiversity, all of that stuff. And then we love them being here because they're very nice people, but also they can lend a hand with all the work. So now there's 4 of us on the farm.
We've been kind of living in Brunswick, near the city, for quite some time, and noticing that probably living that close to the city was starting to, for me at least, kind of wind me down a little bit and kind of exhaust me. So there's always these unanswered questions about what it's like to live in the country. And we've been coming up and visiting Zigzag a lot for quite some time before we moved here, and you know, longer stints, and just noticing how much we enjoyed and felt relaxed and calm every time we came here. But also really treasured and enjoyed the relationship with Hen and Harriet.
It's just a really lovely partnership and something that we want to cultivate as part of this. Being here without family, just having people to lend us their hand and work on the farm with us. All right, so just follow me, nice and slowly, just a gentle pull.
For me, the reason of coming up here has been around having an opportunity to live in a slower way and appreciate the process of winemaking and viticulture and working with the land, just understanding the complexity and how much you're reliant on nature and how much you've got to just work with nature.
I still need to go into town maybe 2 or 3 days a week to work at RMIT in the city. I'm a teacher there in their environments department. A lot of my teaching is exploring sort of ideas of environmental philosophy. So how do we understand and conceptualize the environment? But I also look into the ideas of sustainability. Zigzag is a really great little example to really kind of re-emphasize what I'm teaching.
Quick bleach wash.
It's really wonderful to see the different people that come in and help and contribute, and we'll have like a big long table lunch, and it's always just such a unique mix of people, and I feel like I've learned so much just by working alongside people, be it picking or whatever process we're doing. And there's something so therapeutic about doing an activity and talking to someone.
Harry is due in June, so one of the projects we're going to look at is how can we make their arrangement sort of more habitable for 3 rather than 2.
Because it gets pretty cold up here and we're pretty exposed on the hill, so the tiny homes right now having a fire reinstalled to make it safer.
This is an original little pot belly that the old locomotive had back in its day. So the fireplace itself's okay, but the flues were pretty much shot. So we'll just put in a new flue kit and we'll make it safe. And yeah, go from there.
I'm still in awe of what Hen and Harriet and Albie have achieved together as a family. It's definitely something I balk at the idea of doing straight away. I'm like, no way could I take on a little child and a business and transform it in the way they have done. And the commitment to that too, and also grace, I would say. They wouldn't agree with that. They would say they're fumbling their way through it, but it has been like to maintain your sense of integrity and, you know, focus on what you want to create. Like they've literally like learned how to make wine.
That's absolutely lovely.
Create a beautiful brand, an idea, and start experimenting with different ways of making wine that are actually being so well received. Like, I love it.
Next time on We Bought a Vineyard.
And am I doing it the right way? You turn right, you're going right. Yeah, I think I'm doing it the right way.
This is by far the biggest challenge that Harriet and I have had, and yeah, we're pretty devastated to walk into your bathroom and see you know, the 3rd most dangerous snake in Australia going for your friend. Makes you a bit anxious.